the initial step. You know, ever since I was in middle school, I had this family friend that introduced me to Swoozie, because I used to never watch YouTube when I was younger. But I had this family friend introduce me to Swoozie. If you know, you know. And the second I watched him, I instantly wanted to be a YouTuber. Instantly. You know, like, and it was, for me, it was never really about being a YouTuber, to be honest. It was just about the fact of, like, wanting to be someone. I wanted my name itself to become, like, not a brand, but I guess like a symbol of some sort. I feel like everyone has a very specific purpose, you know, when you get down to the details, but in a more broad sense, it's all about acts of service, you know? Which I guess you could, like, translate that to being love. Because you can't give to others until you give to yourself. You can't love others until you love yourself. But why do I say the initial step? I say the initial step because I've been wanting to do this since I was like 9 years old. Truth be told, I'm still questioning whether or not I'm even going to end up... I still haven't created a channel yet to put this video up. But I'm telling myself that I'm going to. And you know, for such a big part of my life, I had people convincing me that I wasn't who I really was. And then after a while, I realized it was a combination of other people seeing something in me and not wanting me to tap into it because they understood that there's an equal opposite reaction to everything, like, or I should say an equal potential to go either way, you know? So if you have a great potential to have a significant impact on the world in a positive sense, you can have an equal possibility and potential to have an impact in a negative sense. And I think a lot of people are afraid of that. Like, I think a lot of people saw something, but also saw, you know, I guess it could have been a level of darkness that I was going through at a young age. And instead of trying to help, they just tried to keep a lid on my potential to some extent. But I'm not really saying this for it to be about me. I'm more so saying this because something in my intuition is telling me to say these things. Now that I realize what's been going on up till now, I've realized that I've always been more of a confident type of person. But I also didn't want people thinking I was cocky or arrogant. I didn't want to steal other people's limelight, you know, because I don't believe that I'm the center of attention. And even if I was, I would still bring other people into the limelight with me, just because what's the point of having the limelight if you're just enjoying it by yourself, you know? Like, anything that I get in this world, I simply get it so I can share it with the people that I love and the people I care about. But I also have realized that this gift that I have for being able to help people or share different perspectives with people, I've been using it in the wrong way and loving in a selfish way. And because of my fear of embracing the confidence that I have, and, you know, putting myself out there for the world to see and hear me, I was directing these gifts onto people in my personal life with the best intentions, but I almost was making them a project in a sense, you know? Like, unknowingly, like, unbeknownst to them, you know? Like, everyone that I love in my life, I love them for who they are in their present moment, but at the same time, I also see their potential, and I also value them, you know? And I've always just wanted to see them bloom into the flowers that they're meant to be. But I think I had a way of doing that where, you know, I was pushing in a way where it could have been a little controlling, you know? Because at the end of the day, we all have the same level of potential. So who am I to say, like, oh no, but you should be doing it this way? Who am I to say that? You know? And I tried pushing people to have epiphanies and be open to perspectives before they were supposed to have those epiphanies or be open to those perspectives, you know? It's not to say that they're not going to get there, but they're living their own life and they're on their own path that is completely different from yours. And you have to respect that. But once again, as I'm saying, I was expressing these things and I was sharing these gifts with the people that were closest to me in a way that wasn't okay and it wasn't healthy. You know, not that I was doing damage, but, you know, a lot of them probably don't even see anything wrong with it. But, you know, now I've taken the time to really assess my actions. I realized, like, I was expressing my gifts towards the ones that are around me and the ones I love in that manner because I was afraid to show up in this manner myself. If I show up in this manner, people can choose to find this and people can choose to sit down and listen to what I'm talking about. And if it resonates with them, then it resonates with them. And if this gives them even the tiniest nugget of wisdom or, you know, epiphany that ends up being the catalyst, this entire video could have nothing to do with anything, but there could be 1 5-second clip in here that gives you that one thing you need to, that one spark to end up being the catalyst to really push you to go do something. The initial step. You get what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I feel like the past few months, I've always wanted to, I said it already, I've always wanted to be a YouTuber. But I've always wanted to be someone to help. But in these past few months, something's been like screaming, like my intuition has been screaming at me, like just screaming at me to do this. And I kept putting it off because I was afraid. And there's nothing wrong with fear, you know, it's just, I'm afraid, like, you know. But for some reason, today, I decided today was the day to at least make this video. And I feel once I make this video, then I'm probably just gonna end up making the account before I lose my nerve. We can't control the things that go on around us. We couldn't as kids and we can't now. But we can control how we decide to live. There's a lot of things that we can't control that we all seem to stress over. We can't control how or when we're gonna die, but we can control how we live. And I feel like a lot of us deep down want to be of service to other people, want to love other people, want them to understand that they can find that love in themselves and then be able to express it with other people, creating a cycle, you know. But it's hard to stay in that mind frame when your surroundings are unsatisfactory, we'll say. But there's just a delay in the physical. Like, if you're genuinely sitting here watching this video and anything that I'm saying is resonating with you, or the way that I'm presenting myself resonates with you, or anything at all about this video is sitting well with your soul, that tells me that you probably have made some kind of internal shift at some point. And you're probably frustrated with the fact that you're not seeing the results of that in your physical surroundings. And trust me, I get that. And I don't want to be the one to tell you the same cliche stuff that everybody else is probably telling you if you're even talking to other people about it. But oh, excuse me. But patience is a virtue. And there's someone else on here that says manifestation. He kind of relates it to the law of detachment now that I'm thinking about it. It's not actually manifesting something. It's being completely okay without it. Like, to truly manifest, you have to detach yourself from an outcome. Like, why do you think all those cool kids you might have grown up with or whatever, like, things always seem to go their way? That's because they weren't stressing about an outcome. They probably weren't even thinking that in depth about it to begin with. They just, things happen because why would they not happen? Everything works for me. Everything goes my way, And there's something we can take from that, I don't want to keep rambling too much, but if you've always wanted to be what you wish someone was for you, you have the power to be that. You have the power to be that. But I'm telling you, an opportunity is not going to just fall into your lap. If I'm being honest, I was trying to convince myself that that's what was going to happen for me, that an opportunity was just going to fall into my lap, I was the one stranded in the water, turning down the guy who came on the boat, the guy who, and then looking at God, wondering why didn't you come save me? If you know that story, you know what I'm talking about. But that was me for a little while. Not to say that I wasn't doing anything. I could tread water with the best of them, I'm a pretty good swimmer too. But, It's easy to do the easy things. Don't do the easy things just because you're trying to avoid doing the hard things or doing what you know you truly need to do because you're afraid. Because there is not going to come a moment where you're not afraid of this. It's only going to happen once you triumph over it. Fear is always either telling you one of two things. It's either telling you that you're actually in danger, or there's something underlying that you need to address and confront head on. And you kind of have to use your discernment to figure out which is which. I feel like this is a good first video for me to start off with. I didn't know what the topic would be, but ironically, why wouldn't it be the initial step if that's exactly what I'm doing right now? You know? I hope this encourages someone out there to do the same thing, even if it's just one person. But if your old reality doesn't serve you anymore, then you don't have to conform to it. Jim Carrey always said depression is the body's way of saying, I'm tired of playing this character. Stop playing the character. If you feel like you're in the Truman Show, you can turn the TV off. Create the life that you want. Because you can. Like I said, you have that potential and you have that ability. I don't care what anyone tells you. You have that ability. All right, yo.